The movie begins and we see a boy named Bread driving a car. His father is sitting beside him. They are having a conversation and driving along when, out of nowhere, a boy covered in blood appears in front of their car. They attempt to save him, but suddenly their car hits a crack in the road. This collision causes Bread's father to die abroad. 6 months go by after this tragic incident. Then we are shown that Brad goes into depression because of his father's death, and he also starts taking drugs like Mukti Patra because he believed that his father's death was because of him. He always had a blade hanging from his neck with which he used to punish himself and keep cutting himself. There is a girl in Brand's college named Loris from who asks him to burn her at the sea from in the college, but Bread refuses because he had to go there with his friend Holly. Then Holly goes to drop Bread at his home, and after much ado from home, she drops Bread off. After getting off the car, Brand tells Holly that today Loli asked me to go to Stoneb. As soon as he comes home, Brand's mother asks him how he will go to Chrome. On this, he says that I should go with Holly in his car, on which his mother outright refuses and suggests a rented car, because according to them, a driver is more expert in driving because his mother was very depressed due to his father's death, and she also probably thought that she herself was responsible for Bread's father's death. Bread's help had put a lot of restrictions on him, which he has to follow, and now she doesn't even allow him to sit in the car. After listening to such things, Brad leaves from there. He takes his dog with him and gets caught by the police and starts committing suicide, but he doesn't do that. He stops and starts listening to music while sitting there. Then after some time, he gets a call for help. He is just about to pick up the call when someone catches him from behind. So he does that. The kidnapper puts him in a truck and takes him somewhere. Then Brand's mother comes to this sleeve looking for him because she knows that he must have come here. But even after searching a lot, she does not find Brand. She comes on the other side, ready to go to Hollybee from... She knocks on Bread's door, and his mother comes and immediately starts asking, "Where is Bread?" But Holly also does not know anything about Bread. Then her mother calls Ball, who is also their neighbor and police officer. She tells him about Bread being missing, but he does not take it seriously because Bread used to do this, and after hearing one thing, he becomes serious when she tells that is why their dog is missing. There is also an attempt to kill her dog, as someone had beaten him very badly, and she's taking him to a doctor from Hollywood, but he dies on the way. Then again, we see that truck where Bread has been kidnapped and taken away. A dead animal is lying on the road, and the truck driver stops to pick it up. Then that truck eventually stops at a house, and we see that the same girl and her father are inside it, revealing they had kidnapped Bread. Bread is sitting in her room, and her father, Eric, brings a dress for her. She starts changing her dress right in front of her father, and he watches her closely. Then Bread regains consciousness, and he sees that someone has prepared him very well and made him sit on a chair, and both the father and daughter were sitting in front of Bread, and another woman was also present there, and she had a strange mark on her forehead. The name of that woman was Pratiz. Bread tries a lot to escape from there, but he was trapped by the fun. Those people had decorated their whole house like prone, and they were celebrating their own prone because Bread had refused him to be prone. That's why he started celebrating Bread. Then she takes an injection filled with glitch and puts it in Brand's neck, which destroys the veins in his neck, and now he can't win. Ari makes a picture of the pools, and then he makes a picture of Pratiz sitting with them, and Lola is not happy to see the stone bread ice. Then they all are having dinner, and she's not eating any of the bread ice, and Lola tries to force food into her mouth. That means she is not his mother, because Lola Stone treats him very badly. Bratties have also been kidnapped by them. After Bratties, she moves towards Brand and tries to force-feed him chicken, but Brand does not open his mouth. Then she says a slogan which is the slogan of KFC. Is it freeing? But Brand does not answer any of her words. Eric brings a hammer. Olas asks a question, and Eric hits the table with it. Brad nods to respond. She asks him to lick his finger. His father, holding the hammer, forces him to comply. Brad wants to go to the toilet, but she hands him a glass instead. Nervously, Brad uses the glass while everyone watches. After a while, Brad finishes and hands back the glass, feeling embarrassed. He does not go to the toilet because he does not know how to go to the toilet. He makes an excuse to escape from there. Then Annie's comes to him with a hammer and tells him that I killed your dog, and I killed his dog with a hammer using the key. Then he comes there with the key and gives 10 seconds to Brad and says that if he does not go to the toilet in 10 seconds, he will wash off the oil from him. Both of them start counting backwards, so Brand is forced to go to the toilet, but instead of complying, Brand kicks Olastrone, who falls backwards. Now he is free and attempts to escape from there. He runs outside and hides under their truck. Iraq also comes out after him, and the first thing he does is get into his truck and start it. While he is reversing the truck, he spots Brad and, like a crazy person, he drives his truck after him. Right on time, Red quickly climbs onto a truck and then immediately gets hit by that same truck. At the same time, that girl also reaches there, and both of them start throwing stones at Brad. Suddenly, one of the stones hits Brad's head. He falls down and immediately becomes unconscious. Then they pick him up and bring him inside. As soon as he makes him sit on Jair, they stab him in both his legs so that he cannot run away again. And at the same time, Pole, who is searching for Brad at the cleavage, does not find Brad there, but finds Brad's phone and airphone there, which he brings to Holly and his mother. Then Ola shows her scrapbook to Brad. Hence, it is clear that this is not the first time she is doing all this, but she will keep doing all this. They have been doing this work of kidnapping since childhood. Her mad father kidnaps boys for her. She first dances with them and then hands them over to her mother. So it was obvious that even if Brad had said yes to going with her on the roll, he would have faced the same fate. Then, in her scrapbook, she tells about a boy named Demi Valentine Day, that he ran away from there, and it was the same boy who came in front of Brad's car and his father died. On which he thinks that my father's death has not happened because of that boy, but because of these two Matt, father-daughter. And TV Valentine Day, all Valentine Day. That means that police officer has a son. This year's Target brand was in her scrapbook. There was a picture of it, and there was another picture, which was a painting. Now she has to make a picture of the brand's drawing. She is making a painting of Brad, and her father keeps praising her. She makes a heart on the bread and writes LS inside the heart, and she has been doing this since childhood. She used to make a heart like this on everyone, and else was visible in it. It means that after making the L-stop painting, salt is rubbed on his wounds, and he feels more pain than Brad NS. Then she starts announcing the Queen of Prone, and finally, out of so many girls, only Lotta becomes the coin. They want to celebrate, and for the celebration, they force the brand to whistle blow. This coin is given the ground of Psycho the Air. Harry makes their picture again, and now it is Dance Bread's turn. He still has the knife in his foot, and he dances with it. And at the same time, her father was sprinkling sparkles on her. But she doesn't get good feelings with Brad. So she starts dancing with her father. Then she realizes that her father is her real pain. They also start cutting the animal, which they had picked up from the road, and open a secret door and pour water in it. Strange sounds are coming from inside that door. He brings a toolbox. He takes out a drill machine from it and gives it to his daughter, and with that drill, she makes a hole in Bran's head. Exactly the same mark as was on Bread Eye's head, and she makes a very big haul for him by tomorrow. Now, he wants to do one more thing. She is going to pour boiled water on Bread's head. It will boil his brain, and he will become completely lifeless, and he will also become like Bread Eyes. He will be thrown in the basement, where there are many people like him. They move forward to pour hot water, but they find his hole small. The egg is making his hole bigger. The bread hits Eric with a plate, with which he was trying to open his rope for a long time. Then he takes out a knife from his foot and kills Eric. And immediately he throws it in the basement, and many people come and start eating it. He is watching all this. At the same time, La arrives and brings him there, throwing him inside. Following this, she notices her father, who is dead, and reacts in a frenzied manner. After this, she closes the door. Bread then sees a torch nearby, and as soon as he lights it, everyone attacks him. However, he manages to kill them all, and there is a pile of bones lying there. So this Lola Stone kills Bread Ice as well. On the other hand, Tali remembers what Bread had told her. Lola Stone asked her to go to the prompt, which she immediately tells to Ball, who sets out for Ola's house. Ball reaches Ola's house and peeks through the door. He sees a lot of blood spilled there. He breaks the door and goes inside. The Bread comes to know that someone has come there, on which he goes with a lot of noise, and Pole comes to know that he is hiding there, and he opens the door and finds him, and immediately Ola comes there. She hits him with a chopper on his head and kills him and throws him down. Then Bread takes Pole's pistol and starts shooting at him, but she moves aside and all the bullets get wasted. Then she tells Bread that she is going to his house, and after going there, she will kill his mother, like she killed his father, and after that, they beat up Holy as well. Saying this, she leaves the place in anger because she does not know how to drive and she's going on foot. Bran thinks, what should he do? He gets an idea and puts the bodies on top of each other and manages to get out of the basement. Halle is also going to Lola's house and they both meet on the way. Lola is looking at him and points her scrapbook towards him, on which Holy immediately applies the brakes. Then she enters the car and attacks Holy, and Holy saves himself with great difficulty and runs away from there. Bread also comes there, who is coming very fast in the Pole's car and tries to stop him, and suddenly Hollywood comes in front of Brand, but he saves her, but Laula gets hit from behind. Holly sits in the foreign car and gets very scared after seeing Brand's condition. They look back at Laula, who is crawling towards them even after her bones are broken. Then Brand drives the car backwards from the tree and Laula dies. Brand returns home to his mother, and after this, the movie also ends. If you liked the explanation of the movie, then please tell us in the comments section. Thank you.